So we are now joined all the way in Nashville with Pryor Baird. How are you, Pryor?
I'm fantastic, Blaine. How are you, sir?
Not bad, not bad. And
Thanks for having
how's
me.
the weather out in Nashville?
It's like I said, there's a little bit of this white stuff on the ground. It's warming up a little bit, but slowly but surely, we're getting out of the snowpocalypse.
Exactly. Well, are you used to it where you're originally from?
No, the white stuff we have in California is cocaine and white sandy beaches. So no, we're not used to the snow unless you go up to the mountains and then you go snow skiing. So yes, but it's not something you see every day.
Oh well, like it's something that we get once a year, maybe in the UK, but nothing too much. But
Yeah.
first question I want to ask you is, and would love to ask this with all guests, is so where did it all begin for you, and where did your love of music come from?
Show you. This guitar right here was the very first guitar I ever heard in my life. My uncle was playing it, and he just passed last year, so it was passed down to me. And I was maybe 2 years old, and I heard it. I heard him playing, and I didn't know what it was. And I remember going out there listening to it. And when I looked up, I said, "That's what I want to do." And so I've known since I was a little tiny boy that this is what I was going to do my whole life. So that's it. It started. It's my first memory. I don't know anything else.
And so it was like you mentioned, like your uncle. Were your parents musical? Was your family musical?
They were music lovers. My father, he was a music lover, but couldn't hold a tune in a bucket. But he knew every word to every rock and roll song and every Elvis Presley song and every Johnny Cash song and all the country western songs. He knew all that. George Jones. And my mom loves the piano. She's been trying to learn how to play the piano for quite some time. And that's the only musical influence I have. And then my uncle, he played two or three songs in some weird tuning. So,
And when you were growing up, who were some of your musical influences?
oh man. So it's funny, the silver lining in the parents getting divorced was I lived 1 week with my mom, 1 week with my dad. And when I was with my dad for a week, we'd listen to nothing but George Jones, Merle Haggard. And on Wednesdays, we listened to nothing but Hank Thompson, bluegrass, and, everything that had to do with country music, we listened to with him. Then when I go to my mom's house, I'd listen to, Dixieland jazz and blues and funk and soul. And my mom loved all that. So I grew up from Dixieland jazz and Duke Ellington to uh, Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs to George Jones and everything in between.
And when you were growing up, what like obviously where you are now, but what sort of career path did you think you were going to go down?
I, I don't know if there's a correct way to answer that, but I would say that nobody really knows the path they're going to take because there is no path. And you just kind of just put one foot in front of the other and hope that you make the right decisions and show up and do the right thing. And um, so I don't I don't know if I ever had a direction that I wanted to go in, but I just knew that I wanted to play and let the music in me come out, and whatever happens, happens. And this is what's happened with it. And this is the greatest scenario I've ever thought of, and this is the best. So
Well, what like
yes, all good.
when I was reading up about yourself, and one of the stories that I most talk about is like you moved to Nashville, and it was like a brave, bold decision that you did. Like you sold all your like pretty much all your possessions, bar your guitar and a few other things, and just like dive straight in head first. So can we talk a bit about that and what the like thinking behind that was?
Yeah, so I was a bartender for a long time, and I was a musician doing everything that I could to play music. And I traveled all over the country. I was big in the blues world, and I loved playing the blues. And I traveled to the IBCs in Memphis, and then there's like what's that big fish, little pond kind of like thing.
Oh yeah,
Kind of feel like that, for a little bit. I was from a little bitty town, and it scared me because I remember seeing the old guys in my hometown, and they were young at the time, playing the same songs at the same place, doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And It terrified me. And my dad always said, if is the biggest little word in the world. And I didn't want to look back and say, man, what if I'd have done this? What if I'd have done that? So I literally packed my stuff. I told my dad I was leaving. He said, where are you going? I said, I don't know. I said, I'm either going to go to Chicago or Austin, Texas. Oh my God. These guys got to stop. Hang on just a second. I'm so sorry. There we go. So I said, Austin, Chicago, or Nashville. And he had a pool hall. And he said, come over later and we'll figure it out. So I went over later and we had a few of his home brews and got a little tuned up, played some pool, and he got a great big map and put it on the wall. Put me on a bar stool and spun me around a few times and blindfolded me, and he gave me one dart and he said, throw it. And I threw it and it landed in Paducah, Kentucky. And he said, well, I guess you're going to Nashville. I said, I guess so. And 2 weeks later, it was March 6th, 2011. And I remember like standing on my Ford F-150. I had a 2003 Ford F-150, 4-door, 2-wheel drive. And it had 10 guitars, a suitcase, and an amplifier, and just some clothes and stuff in the back. And it was all tarped up, my bed over the top. And I remember saying goodbye to my mom. My mom's like, holy cow, you're really leaving? I said, yeah. And then I told my dad, and my dad was standing outside waiting for me. He's like, come on, nobody's going by themselves. So he came with me, and I had 10 guitars, a suitcase, a bed, tarped at the top of my truck, and drove out here. Didn't know anybody, never been here before, didn't have a plan. What's that song? Chasing that neon rainbow, man. That's it. Didn't know a thing, just living for the minute.
That's an absolute like amazing story. And when you first like got to Nashville, what was your first thoughts when you first seen like Broadway and like, everything like that?
First time when I first saw Broadway, I remember coming, I was like, that's it? That's the whole thing right there, that little bitty strip? Which doesn't look like that anymore. But, and I was like, oh man. I remember coming up over Broadway from the west side and coming up like that. But then I remember coming down there and coming down to Broadway and rolling down the windows in my truck for the very first time. And my dad and I were like, holy shit. Sorry, can I say that?
Yeah, you could say that.
I couldn't believe it. I was terrified because every place I went, like even just driving through town, I was like, oh my God, everybody's so good. But that's the best part, surround yourself with better people and you'll get better. And yes, that was my first time seeing Broadway.
Amazing. Well, you gained like a lot of attention and became like a well-known figure when you were contesting on season 14 of The Voice.
Yeah.
What can we just talk a tiny bit about what the process of like The Voice is like and what it was like being a part of like Team Blake Shelton as well?
It's a heck of a process. What a lot of people don't know is like from beginning to end, it's just about a year. And you're in a couple different hotels. You don't tell anybody where you're at. Nobody knows where you are. You can't go within a mile of the hotel while you're there. You're there for 6, 7, 8 weeks at a time sometimes. And I mean, I can say now you're not supposed to go within a mile, but I definitely left. I went back to Santa Barbara. I went and saw my family. I went out to dinner. We had way too much fun. But it was a blast, man. I met some great people. I met some amazing friends, and the exposure that you get on that show, like if you go into it, never did I ever think I was going to be on a freaking reality TV show. And when it happened, I was like, huh, okay. And then the further along you go, it's like, maybe I really could do this. And then it's like, okay, you know what? I will never get this opportunity again to use this sort of platform and get this sort of momentum. So, strike while the iron's hot and make sure that you're present and work hard. And you get such an amazing experience, man, playing with that band, meeting those people and those contacts. I mean, it's great. Every part of it was great. Blake was amazing. He's the nicest guy in the world. He's just exactly how you think he would be. You know, even when you see him now, he still remembers every contestant, every person that was on his team. He remembers you. He's the nicest guy and the most down to earth, real person you'd ever meet. And have you seen his show, Barmageddon? Do they have it over
No,
there?
I
Oh
haven't
my
seen
God.
that. No,
It is hysterical. If you can find it, you should watch it. Barmageddon. It's pretty damn funny.
I'll have to give that a search. But talking about Blake as well, what a full circle moment it was the other day. Like you posted it on Instagram, and congratulations on this. But you're going to make your Grand Ole Opry debut in 4 days' time on January the 26th. Like, can we
Yeah,
just talk a
man.
bit about that? And how does it feel to finally be making your debut?
I don't really know how to put it into words. It's I've waited a long time. I've been here 13 years now, and I've been invited to go to the Opry, and I've been invited to go to the Ryman, and I've invited to go to, you know, a couple of these places. And I always said, no, I'll never go backstage until it's my turn to go backstage. And so I've never set foot on the Opry stage. Um, I've never, I've had opportunities to, and it's one of those moments, even like when I say it, like right now, there's a part of me inside where it's like Christmas morning for the very first time, it's that, I don't know. It's one of the greatest feelings in the world. It's something that I've worked for my entire life. And when a dream comes true, it's kind of hard to put into words, but it's a dream, literally
Yeah,
a dream.
I reckon the whole day on the 26th is just going to be a bit of a blur as well. Sort of from getting up in the morning to getting on stage, it's just going to be like just a whirlwind.
Yeah, and what sucks is it's only like 6 minutes, It's like you get all this build up for 6 minutes. It's like, no, slow down, slow down, slow down. So I'm really trying to soak it all in. And I got a lot of friends and a lot of family coming out. And it's just going to be one of those moments where, I don't know, it's kind of like the only person in my family that ever graduated college was my sister. Nobody's ever graduated college. Most everybody didn't even graduate high school. I did, but I didn't graduate college. And so this will be my like getting my diploma. Good job. You made it, This will be the biggest accomplishment I've ever had in my life.
It's amazing. I just love to hear like when people's dreams come true, especially like yours and stepping out in that little circle. And it's just going to be
Ah,
such a dream come true.
yes.
But talking about like the 26th, like not only are you making your debut, but you've also got like a brand new track coming out called Mighta Met A Girl. Like,
That's
how
right.
excited are you for that coming out on the same day? And can we talk a
Man.
bit about what the song's about as well?
So Mighta Met A Girl is, you know, when somebody meets somebody for the first time, you're excited, and you feel like you're kind of floating on air. The next day you got a big smile on your face, and um, people want to know, dude, like what's going on? Be like, man, I don't want to say anything yet. I don't want to jinx it. Something could happen. It could go wrong. And that's what it's about. It's about meeting somebody for the first time, and I think this is going to work. Like I'd like to. I think I found it, and it's a happy, feel good song. It's got a great groove to it. Got a great feel to it. It's one of my most favorite songs that we've been a part of. Writing it was a blast. I wrote it with my buddy David Tolliver and Chris Gelbuta, and Chris Gelbuta is just an insanely talented human, as well as David. But just a great time writing the song, and the fact that it's going to come out on the day that I play at the Opry. I mean, what more you want?
And would you be performing it at the Opry maybe?
Absolutely, yes, indeed. You know it.
What a way to showcase a song on a
What a
certain
way to
day
showcase
on
a
your
song.
debut
Heck
as well.
yeah, man. Give it the debut it deserves.
And talking about songs as well, can we talk about your other song, You Are to Me, which is one of my favorites? But can we talk about the meaning behind that track as well, please?
Well, You Are to Me. I did not write that song. That's an outside song written by Tranny Anderson, John Smith, and Nate Smith. And I'm a sucker for a love song. I love songs. And I love music, not just words, but I mean like the notation and the sounds and what it does. And it's pretty and it's simple, but it's very pretty. And it catches your ear just as soon as you hear it. And you're like, man, it's just very delicate, and I feel like when people hear that song, it clicks and it registers because they have their their counterpart, but their other person, and it's like that's what you make me feel like, and it's a beautiful thing to see true love. And like I said, I'm a sucker for a love song and beautiful music, and you put the two of them together, and I'm in.
Exactly. Oh, couldn't have put it better myself. But and also you're doing a string of shows as well as part of the Nashville Hits the Roof series.
Yeah.
So you're going to be performing in a couple of places around the country. So how excited are you doing that? And are you going to be doing that acoustically? Or are you going with your band or?
No, we're going to be out. It's a tin roof run. So on the 1st of February, we'll be in Nashville, and on the 8th, we'll be in Columbia, South Carolina. On the 9th, we'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina, and on the 10th, we'll be in Myrtle Beach at all 10 roofs. And it's going to be a full band. It's going to be a full fun time. Come on out. Who knows who's going to be there? Got some special guests going to join up. Can't tell you who they are, but they're going to be fun. And we've got some other stuff on the back burners right now. Hopefully that pan out where we can get on the road and come see some other people on the West Coast and all points in between.
And there's Tin Roof's one of my favorite places in the world. The one on Broadway and the one on Music Row as well. Unbelievable.
Yes. I'm really excited.
Oh, exactly. Like it'll be a blast, especially playing in them towns as well.
Yeah, and I got a bunch of friends over there too. It's really cool with I've done a lot of stuff in my life, and it's not just music. I've got friends. My fiance rides horses, and so we're always in the Carolinas, and so I've got a ton of friends over there that love the horse world, but they all love music, and they're all the American Saddlebred people, and they just join behind me. And so whenever I play over there in the Carolinas, holy cow, everybody shows up with just horse trailers. It looks like a damn rodeo.
Exactly. Well, and it's only January as well. So not only have you got like your new single coming out, you'll be going on the road soon. You're doing your Grand Ole Opry debut. So what can we expect from 2024? Have you got some more new music coming out? Tours, festivals?
We got new music. We got tours. We got dates. We got merchandise. We got people. We got smiles. We got love. We got good music. We got all the things.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. Well, Pryor, it's been an absolute pleasure for having you on the podcast. Thank you for taking your time out today to join me. And we can't wait to see what the rest of 2024 has got in store for you.
Blaine, thank you, my man. Keep your arms down. Don't blow away in that wind. Huh?
I'll try. Well, watch